Hey everyone, Andy Raffel from eTeknix.com. Now, anyone who knows me will know that I'm currently using the Purebase 500 from Be Quiet as my temporary chassis. Well, now they've got a new and improved version which apparently has better airflow. The DX. Let's do this.
The MSI Prestige PS3 41WU monitor delivers the ultra-wide experience you've been waiting for. No more compromises on resolution due to its incredible 5K 2K IPS panel and a stunning picture thanks to HDR 600, DCI P3 colour and a versatile 34-inch design. We think it's one of the best monitors ever created. Find out more by clicking the link in the description below.
So this is the Purebase 500 DX. It's basically the same shape, the same size as the original Purebase 500. Now it is only going to come in two colours from, I guess, the start. So we've got the black and then the white one that we've got here. So what we actually have is a Purebase 500, but with improved airflow. Now that's kind of, with the front panel here. So we do have this kind of mesh paneling down the front. We do have an extra fan in there, which I will talk about as well. And a few other, I guess, neat new features that we didn't have on the Purebase 500. Now, when you actually sort of look at this case and I guess what it compares to in the market, I would honestly say the key competitor is going to be the Meshify C from Fractal Design. They're about the same sort of price. This coming in at €100, which hopefully once that translates into pounds will be about £90, but it'll probably be more likely £100. But basically, I feel like we get, I don't know, something a little bit better with this case in terms of what you can actually fit into it. So there are a few little updates that they've done to the DX, not just with the airflow, but with other kind of key features sort of inside and outside the chassis. So to start with, it now has Type-C. Now, I am actually going to be a little bit sort of critical with the Type-C connector. What they've actually done is they've used the existing panel and just sort of punched it out and added a Type-C connector. So the Type-C connector, I get it, they've kind of reused stuff that they already have, but it just doesn't sort of have that same premium feel that the rest of the case has. Now, talking about sort of premium feel, one thing that I really do like is this mesh panel. Because on the existing one, it's basically the same. It has some kind of rigidity to it. It's not just a magnetic mesh panel. It has this, it has the branding of Be Quiet on there, and the black and white kind of monochrome look really, really looks nice. Obviously, when you take that off, it still does reveal all of the area for kind of, fitting AIOs, liquid cooling, fans, and so forth. All of your cooling needs right at your fingertips. So if we put that back on, the other kind of airflow that is now on here is the fact that it has these two large mesh panels, one down each side, to really sort of bring that air in. Now, anyone who's worked with a Purebase 500 will know that you can fit a variety of different fan configurations inside. So when I say that, it comes with a 140mm fan already pre-included, just like the original Purebase 500. Also comes with another PureWings 2 140 at the back, just like the Purebase 500. But now we also have one at the top, acting as, I guess, more of an exhaust. Now, you can obviously change this up a little bit. So if you wanted to, you could add another 140 at the top, or you could take the 140s out. If you had some 120s that you wanted to use, you could put them in there. Same with the front. You can add a second 140mm fan, or you can take that out and have three 120mm fans. Now, I know where you guys are thinking, where's this going in terms of water cooling support? Well, of course, by having three 120mm in the front, that also means you could fit a 360mm rad. Or, alternatively, in the top, with a little bit of sort of, jiggling about and depending on RAM clearances and VRM cooling and stuff like that, you may even be able to get a 240 or a 280mm in the top of it. Now, the thing that I love about this case is purely the fact of, again, comparing it against the Meshify C, how much stuff you can really fit in here. So let's talk about storage, for instance. When it comes to SSDs on a Meshify C, you can fit, I think it's 3. On here, you can fit 3 just down here, one underneath here, and one here. You can also fit another 2 behind the motherboard tray from the other side, because there is enough clearance for that as well. So straight away, it's winning, I guess, in the feature department. And the features don't just stop there. Be Quiet aren't exactly known for their addressable RGB and blingy features and stuff like that. And by the way, yes, just like the Purebase 500, it does come included with this kind of soft acoustic foam, which is going to help with, obviously, sound deadening and things like that. But Be Quiet have never really been known for, I guess, blingy features. Their coolers are black, their cases are black or white. They've never really been a big sort of thing when it comes to RGB. They're not Corsair at the end of the day. They're not Game Max. They're not Aerocool. But we now have addressable RGB. So on the front, there are sort of little strips just in the middle where the RGB will actually shine through. And there is a button on the top as well that you can press to go through certain modes. So from reading sort of, you know, what Be Quiet have actually told us, there are 6 different colors and 4 different modes, including, and I don't know why companies always do this, a breath mode. It's not called a breath mode, it's called a breathing mode. So you can do that. Or alternatively, and the cable is just here for it, you can connect it up to your motherboard and it will work with any major motherboard software. So I'm talking Asus AuraSync, Gigabyte Fusion, MSI Mystic Light, and so forth. So you get kind of different, you know, ways of doing it. Now, going back to the whole how much stuff you can fit in here. So based on sort of previous experience with a PureBase 500 and what I've managed to actually get sort of inside, according to the literature, you can only fit an ATX motherboard in here, which is absolute baloney. It is completely wrong, because all you have to do is take this whole panel off here, which kind of, you know, assists with the cable management of poking everything through here, turn it around, and suddenly you can fit an eATX motherboard. Nice and simple. So there's that. And I mean, you get all of these features. You get 7 expansion slots. You get all this improved airflow for the low price of €100. So it's not a bad price at all. Obviously, we still have other features that, you know, I guess we're on the PureBase 500 and they've just kind of taken it over. So we have this large removable dust filter, which kind of encompasses the whole bottom of the case. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, you have the dust filter on the top. You also have, if I take the front panel off, which is always fun on camera. Yeah! Hopefully, during editing, we can like green me up a little bit, maybe look like the Hulk there. But we do have dust filters on here, which are your kind of metal mesh dust filters. But also turning the case around, you can see again, we have a dust filter here. So even just working on the case, you know that for maintenance, it's going to be nice and easy to work with because of all them dust filters. You also know that just by taking them few panels off, you know, the one on this side, the tempered glass on this side, the front off, you've basically got your bare chassis now and you can get to work and sort of get into the case from any different angle. You will also find, and again, to me, it's the silly little things, but it's the things that add value. Be Quiet have the power supply bracket, so you can take that off, install your power supply, and then slide it in from this side. Especially with a mid-tower, because normally you'd expect of a case of kind of this value, around this sort of size and shape, for the power supply to go in from this side. But no, instead it slides in from the rear, which honestly I think is so much better, because the amount of rigs I've built where I've kind of put hard drives in and things like that, gone to put the power supply in after and realised I have to take the whole cage out to get the power supply in, to slot it back, to then put the hard drive cage back in. It's just, you know, time consuming and a little bit of a hassle. Be Quiet, basically, you know, they know that we all go through this as system builders, so this is kind of where they end up. Now, going back to the addressable RGB side of things, it's not just the front. You'll also see that they have a strip just along here, kind of hidden. So when everything is turned on and you've got your system in there, in theory, it should sort of shine down and, you know, sort of reflect through the tempered glass that's on that side panel. So when it comes to any case manufacturer, no one is perfect. And to be fair, this isn't far off it. There are a few, I guess, niggly little things in my eyes. The fact that they don't kind of claim that it can support eATX, when I know for a fact it can. Like I say, take off that bracket and off you go. The other things that annoy me, and this really just comes down to OCD, this one, I can be a little bit forgiving because you can't really see it, it's at the back of your case, but the sticker is upside down. I know I'm nitpicking a little bit here, but it's just, you know, something that bugs me. The one that I cannot forgive is this pre-installed fan here. Why, oh why, is this facing that way? I kind of get it in terms of the cable routing and stuff, but there is enough cable length on this fan that they could have quite easily rotated it by 90 degrees and had the Be Quiet logo facing the right way. Again, that's just an OCD thing. Other than that though, I don't think I can really fault this. I think, you know, they've worked on the success of a case that is, I guess, still relatively new in the market. The PureBase 500 hasn't exactly been out for a long time. You know, it's still, I guess, a current model. It's not end of life or anything like that. All they've successfully done from a first glimpse is sort of improved on it. Apparently improved on the airflow, and we will have, you know, at the time of watching this video, we will have some written stuff as well, which will kind of delve into that a little bit more. But I just wanted to give kind of my first impressions as to what I think, and I'll Be Quiet making the right choices. And I definitely think they are. The whole monochrome look as well. And again, it's the small fine details, like the motherboard standoffs. The middle one has a little notch on it. And that notch basically means that you can put your motherboard on there and it will just sit in place without you having to kind of, you know, hold it while you're screwing everything down. Little things like that. The fact that it can accept 5 SSDs. The fact that PSU-wise, you could literally put the largest power supply you could physically imagine, obviously on the ATX form factor, but it would fit in here absolutely fine. The fact that you could get away with SLI if you wanted to, all inside a mid-tower case. Now we did compare sort of size differences between this and a Meshify C, which is probably one of the most, you know, successful selling chassis around this kind of price point. And yes, this is a smidgen taller. Yes, it's that little bit wider, but you can do so much more with it. So if I had €100 to spend, probably going to end up being about £100 and $100. What would I be looking at? Something like this, the Meshify C, something from the likes of Corsair. In all honesty, I don't think you're going to get better value for money than what Be Quiet have got here with the Purebase 500 DX. Just to put that into perspective, the Purebase 500 is about £85 in the UK. One of these 140mm fans is going to cost you about 15-20 quid. I'm talking just a general fan. These you know, are probably a little bit more expensive, being the Pure Wings 2. Add that on and you're at your £100, €100, $100 mark. Get it all included, plus extra with the addressable RGB, more addressable RGB, dust filters galore, tempered glass, acoustic side paneling, power supply bracket, the ability to put 5 SSDs, the ability to have a large motherboard, decent premium quality on the dust filters that don't just sort of, you know, perform well, but actually look pretty decent as well. And the ability to put a full custom loop in here, which I've done on the Purebase 500. We did a Halloween mod and it came out looking great. So yeah, there you go guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it gave you a bit of an insight as to kind of what's going on and what you're going to be able to do with this. And maybe, you know, we'll look to do some more kind of video content with this and build something up, maybe even with a custom loop, you know, some white coolant, black fittings, get that whole kind of monochrome thing going on. Maybe that's the way forward with this case. But I wanted to give you a first kind of glimpse of what I think. A few little things that I don't agree with. Fan placement, that USB Type-C connector. Other than that though, this might just be the best case you can find at this price point. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Until next time guys, I will see you in the next one. See you later. Bye bye.